and welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and today I'm going to be doing a tray. Now, I don't do trays very often, but I happened to pick this tray up, and I will leave the link to it in the description. It's really quite a nice sized tray. And what I plan to do with it is I want to kind of make it into a little bit of a steampunk inside. So I've done a rough sketch of this, and I've made some resin little cogs and clocks and diamonds, and I also made this little resin flower as well from a piece of dried flour. If you want to know how to dry flowers and resin them, pop up and have a look at my video on how to do that. I'll pop the link above. And I've got these moulds which I have used before, and they make some great cogs and things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now make some more, because I think I will need a few more for the eyes and different bits and pieces. And then what I'm going to do is transfer this drawing onto this tray, make the background, glue all these down, and then do a pour over the top. So it'll be great to see how this turns out. So stick with me and I'll give tips and tricks all the way through, and we'll see how this works out. So I've poured into these little moulds. Now these are actually for chocolate, these moulds, so they aren't very deep, but it doesn't matter because the resin will set up really well in them. And if you take a look at my other steampunk videos, you can see where I've used these before, but I didn't want to just go through all that again with you today. These actually harden up really, really well, and they will make great additions to this picture. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer that picture from the paper to the tray and paint the background. I want this to be quite a bright picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint inside here red, and that will help seal these edges up just in case the resin was to leak out of them. I'm just using normal acrylic paints here, and I will put a link to the acrylic paints that I'm using in the description. I never have a problem with these acrylic paints with resin. They never react, and they stay really quite a true colour to the one that you're putting down. These have all cured now, and they should come out fairly easy. They do. And even though they're really thin, they do actually cure nice and hard, and are ideal for putting in things as well. So they'll be ideal for this picture that I'm doing. I'm not going to be using all of these, but I want to have a nice selection because I like to have some on standby, as I did previously for other projects. So now that's nicely painted, and I really do like that red, I need to transfer this image onto there. So what I've done is I've attached some carbon paper to this image, just using a little bit of sellotape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that image in roughly where I want it. And that, to me, is about right, because I want it to be fairly central from the bottom of the chin to the top of the hat. So having it close against there makes life a little bit easier when I want to go over and do my next lines. So all I'm going to do is take a pencil, not necessarily a sharp pointed pencil, and go over it. So there we go, that's come out. The only bit that hasn't really come out is this bit here, and I'm going to just draw that on anyway. So I've gone through my colours. I'm going to do the teeth white. I'm going to do the sockets black. I'm going to do the hat bronze. And I've got some what they consider to be flesh tint that I thought I would do the bones in. So we'll see how that comes out. If I don't like it, I can always colour over it again. So I'm going to do this bit in fast forward. where I'm going to put things, or roughly where I'm going to put the cogs and the jaws, before I decide to fill it with a clear resin. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to stick these down. I'm sticking them down for two reasons. One, I don't want them to move when I pour the resin on, and two, hopefully it will prevent any bubbles getting trapped under there and then releasing afterwards. And all I'm going to be using is the all-purpose adhesive Yoo-hoo glue to stick them down with. These are all stuck down now, as you can see. I'm going to give that a couple of hours now to ensure that that's fully dry, and then I'm going to mix up my resin and pour my resin in so it just covers up all of the bits that I've put in there. The glue is dried now on here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my very first resin layer. Now I'm going to pour it in two layers for two reasons. Now firstly, I want to pour a heat resistant layer over the top of this when it's finished, but also I don't want to pour it too deep because it's going to have to be fairly deep to cover up these cogs. I don't want to have to pour it too deep and then it shrink away from the edges and cure too quickly. But also, I want to try and be able to control any bubbles that come up, and it's easier if it's not as thick. So I've mixed up my resin now. I'm using just a normal 1-to-1. I've tried to mix it up using as few bubbles as possible. And now I'm going to do my first pour. And hopefully I'll have sealed this everywhere. Nothing's going to react because that glue doesn't react with this resin. I know the paints won't react because they're nice and dry. So hopefully this should just pour nice and easy over this. And if there is any bubbles that need pricking out, I will do that with a toothpick to ensure that there's no more bubbles trapped anywhere. Okay. There we go, and that will take another top coat on top of that. So I'm going to leave that for a few minutes, let the bubbles rise up, and then any bubbles that are on that, I will then go over it. As you can see, some are already coming up, and I shall go over it with my torch. Because this is wood, obviously this isn't going to hurt at all with the wood. Well, as long as you don't leave it on too long. So we'll come back to this when it's finished. This is completely finished now, and I'm really pleased how this come out. I absolutely love it. And what I've done is I've put some gold leaf on the edges of this tray to give it a distressed gold leaf feel. If you want to see how I do gold leafing, then have a look at this video above, and I'll show you how to use gold leaf on resin and different bits and pieces. I'm not the best drawer in the world. Bit of gold leaf still there, look. Powder that does get everywhere. I'm not the best drawer in the world, but I do like to have a go. So it's a nice original piece. All the cogs are made from resin as well, so they're never going to fade or do anything. And I just love this way it's come out, my little flower in the middle. So I hope you've liked this project. If you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future projects. This is a really simple, nice, easy project that anyone could do. So thank you very much. Join my Facebook group, How to Resin with Steve McDonald, and enjoy your resining. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video as much as you can to help my channel grow. Bye.